we're Team Carbon. Our product is essentially a Chrome extension that allows travelers in many flights to quickly and efficiently document the carbon footprint of the flights that they're taking, and then secondarily, quickly and efficiently offset the carbon footprint from these flights that they're taking. We're creating this product collaboratively with the School of EAS, specifically Dr. Kim Cobb and Leoth Pulpity. It's meant to bring awareness to the fact that flights are a large part of humanity's communal carbon footprint, and we want users to be able to see this and find out this information and then immediately take action on their own climate change and sort of fix the problem that they've been creating inadvertently for however long. Talk about our actual sprint plan when we got done. We can see our goal for this sprint was a revised UI/UX prototype because UI/UX prototype we created last semester was sort of in the wrong direction and off from our high fidelity spec. If we look at the actual user stories and features we wanted to complete, we see by default the extension shows no flight data is available. This is important because most sites will not have flight data. We can see that the entire UI skeleton of extension should be available, and that's because when we build the backend functionality, we don't want to be fumbling around with the front end still. And then we want our working links to chosen charities because it's such a part of our core MVP and something that the users will have to take action. We wanted that to be done as soon as possible. And then lastly, we wanted Vue.js incorporated into our Chrome extension, which is just a front-end framework that we're using. And if we don't have it incorporated in the very beginning, then we won't be building off of it, and there could be issues down the road. So this is the high fidelity spec I mentioned before. It gives the users all the information they need from the various flights that they're taking, with the information that they need to distinguish them, plus breakdowns of the carbon footprint that these flights generate, as well as a total, and then gives them immediate options to offset. Whether that's money donations or time donations, it gives the user the information that they need to know about the carbon footprint, and then gives them the information that they need to donate and fix the carbon footprint. And that was really the information we wanted from this high fidelity spec and the direction that we needed to go to for our UI/UX skeleton. So to talk about the actual extension we built for this sprint, you can see over here we have our carbon footprint tool extension working to track user carbon footprint. This is the unpacked extension I built from our files on GitHub. It doesn't activate on the developer side of Chrome, but if I go to google.com, it does activate and I'm able to click it. This wouldn't necessarily be realistic because Google is not a flight booking website directly, though we could look into it for flights.google.com. Specifically, it would open on United or Delta or Kayak or anything that we've built the auto scrape functionality for flight information from. If I click it, it still shows no flights available as per our first goal of the sprint. This is important because on United, if the user is browsing flights, there might be 20 flights on a page, but we really only want the one the user is sure that they're going to take or about to take. So we have no flights available activated for most of the site, but for specific parts of the site, we will actually show flight information. Now, to go into our second sprint goal, the entire UI/UX skeleton, we do want to have the UI for flights in total available and ready to use when we actually build the backend functionality. I have the Vue debug button down here called toggle flights. If I click it, our HTML for the flights pops up, and it's actually showing the information of some default flights from our high fidelity spec and our total CO2 emissions, and this information will be used on the donate buttons to actually contextualize them and give the user a correct amount of information. But since this is just a front end and there's no actual back end, we're not actually doing anything like that. But it is important to note that our entire UI/UX skeleton for the high fidelity spec is built because we have our totals, and we have our flight information, and we have our carbon offset. The third goal of our sprint was to create these working charity links. As you can see here, if I click on this one, it does take me to treesatlanta.org. So these charity links do work. These are actually both linked to Trees Atlanta right now, though, because they were our high fidelity spec in the first run. We created some more dynamic charity insertions. So I have the Vue debug buttons right here. I can clear them and clear our old ones and then add them. So now we have Trees Atlanta, we have Sierra Club, we have Earth Justice, we have One Tree Planted, and these are all being created dynamically from a list in our Vue front end, but they will be thrown from our back end eventually, which will make editing the list of charities very easy. They still work, so if I click on this one, it takes me to a Sierra Club donate page. It's very simple and straightforward. Our last goal, which was incorporate Vue, is sort of proven by these buttons. We have Atlanta, New York, we have all our flight information come up. We can clear and add new charity buttons. And this is all HTML, which means all the formatting will be good when we actually build the system up and have functionality. We can throw it all at Vue, and Vue will be able to just format it and throw it on the page. That's essentially all of our goals for our sprint. I hope that you like it. I think we're happy with it, and we're looking forward to Sprint 2.